Hello, welcome to Not Dead Yet's Music Week.
Hey,
I'm Dan.
Lee.
That is a good Matt Berry point.
My Matt Berry finger point.
Okay, so we're going to chat to you about music that we've been listening to and that we want to listen to, and just music really.
Yeah.
So what have you been listening to this week, Mr. Lee?
Mr. Lee, I was very...
Have some tea.
Mr. Lee, have some tea. I was very happy to see that there's a band I used to like that you'll be familiar with, the Chapman family.
Yes, we've got very drunk with them before.
Got very drunk with them.
Yeah.
And they split up a while ago, but the singer has a new project called Kingsley Chapman The Nurder.
Oh, is that? Okay,
Yeah,
right.
really good. I was a really big fan of the band, and I posted the song on Facebook page you should check out. Really good, quite different, same tone. I'm not going to talk long about it, but if you like a cross between kind of like Berlin Bowie meets Nick Cave.
Okay.
You'd be in that territory. It's not exactly that. It's good. It's kind of like lots of keyboard, quite dramatic and dark, and then there's kind of like some reed in it. I think like maybe some saxophone parts.
That's not a very cheery tone then.
No, it's good. It's not. It's not.
No.
But it's very, very good.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to hear it. That's his second song that he's released.
Okay.
Just on SoundCloud.
I have not listened to that yet. I might have to check that out.
Check it out. Big fan. And I'd be interested to see how it kind of develops. You know. Also, I've been listening to the new Jon Spencer Blues Explosion album.
I'm pretty sure I've seen them live. When I was a teen, I was dragged when I was by a friend as a teenager.
They've been around for a while, possibly.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been around since the 90s. Jon Spencer's been in a couple of other bands.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a friend of mine dragged me to go and see them, and I was not interested at all.
It's really good. I like the new album. It's just basically really funky blues jamming, really.
Okay.
With him going, Blues Explosion, coming all the way from New York City.
All right, are they from New York City?
I think so.
Okay.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But they're good. It's just, really long jam. It's like, I don't know, 50-minute album maybe. And if you're aware of Jon Spencer and listened to his stuff before, it's not a massive departure from what you'd expect. Well, it's not a departure at all from what you expect. Just good, funky blues jam.
How far could he depart?
Well, ironically, my favourite Jon Spencer Blues Explosion album is actually the least indicative of their catalogue. I really like Plastic Fang.
Okay.
Which has got a lot more garagey tinge to it,
right.
Which I really, really like. But no, this is good. It's called Freedom Tower. It was out this week. If you like Orange and Acme, like previous albums that he's released, Orange is the big one.
Okay.
He's the famous one.
Right.
Not many miles away from that. It's good. Good blues, kind of party, but I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
So mainly that, really. What about you?
So I've been working from home quite a bit, but a lot of the things that I've been working on meant that I had to listen to the audio. So I wanted to use that time to listen to music, but I couldn't. So I listened to a few things. There was one day where I had a lot of graphics to do, and that didn't mean that I had to listen to audio. So I listened to... Now, you and I are both big fans of Arcade Fire.
Yeah.
Love, Funeral?
Funeral.
And Neon Bible.
Neon Bible, yeah.
And The Suburbs I love as well.
Yeah, very good.
I really, really love all three of those albums.
Great albums.
Reflector.
What do you think of it?
So when it first came out, I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I listened to it again that day that I was doing all the graphics. And I can't explain that album.
Now, thank you. Someone else, I agree.
Yeah.
Because I listened to it hard and I didn't like it.
You were hard.
I was hard. And it didn't sustain me.
And then you weren't.
It didn't sustain me. And someone I know said, you just don't get it.
I don't get it, though.
But it's just like, what?
What does that even mean?
What does that even mean?
Do you know what it feels like? Was there like a big... I mean, obviously I know they've got like a huge personnel list anyway. But was there a big personnel change for that album or anything?
I don't believe so.
So it's the same guys, basically?
As far as I'm aware. Because it's mainly Win Butler and his wife.
Okay.
I can't remember her name.
Right. Sexist.
Just not very good names. He's about 20 foot tall, so he kind of does.
Yeah.
Will Butler, his brother, was released an album actually.
Right, okay.
Recently. Anyway, no, I agree. I just didn't get
Basically, it's a very long album, which ordinarily, like if Neon Bible could be twice as long, and I would love it doubly.
Suburbs is quite long.
Suburbs is quite long, and I really, really love that. So it's nothing to do with the length.
No, it's nothing to do with the length.
No one's ever said that before.
It's not that
So that's our second dick joke in talking about Arcade
Just
Fire.
because it's long, it doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah, well, no, and that definitely applies here. It's like something's missing from it. It's like
they try to experiment. And
but I don't. It feels very plasticky. Like their other albums, everything had a real what's the word? It was authentic. Like it felt like heartfelt, the tone and everything. And this just, it felt like bloated. It felt like they'd become, in some way, disentangled with the music they were making. Almost like they were outside of the music they were making. There's something missing from it. It feels like it's a little soulless, I think.
I got the impression, I mean, I haven't listened to it since it came out. Was it 2 years ago? Is it 2 years old?
Maybe a year or two, yeah.
So it's not particularly fresh from memory, but I kind of like wondered whether it was like, was it a concept or art project type album where did they believe their own hype?
Yeah, no,
maybe
exactly.
They believe their own hype. I mean, I've read stuff that they're not particularly nice. That maybe neither he or there, but it there's people could have been victims of getting involved like in their own hype.
Yeah, has
that happened? I don't know. I thought it was just. I just didn't think it was anything particularly memorable. I remember a couple of songs being okay.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with every other Arcade Fire album. I'll have one listen, and at least one or two of the songs from that first listen through are already embedded in my head.
Yeah.
I listened to this album twice now at least, and months apart from each other, and I listened to it again no longer than 3 days ago, and I couldn't tell you about any of the songs. I'm rubbish with song names, so I probably wouldn't be able to tell you the song name, but I can't even say, oh, there was this one song on there that I really, really loved, because that just didn't happen at any point. So
I think Reflector was a song as well on the album.
Yeah, it is.
And that was a single. And it was about 7 minutes, I think.
Yeah,
I think it was quite long, wasn't it? From what I remember.
It's a very. It might be something that I have to come back to, like leave it again and come back to, and I probably will, just because I love that band so much. It's just very surprising that album would be so. Now we've given it time, the hype's gone. It's an album standing alone on its own virtue, and it still does not really stand up. So that's quite interesting. That's something I think I might have to go back to in 6 months' time or something. I also listened to Roxy Music's Sirens. Now, I've never really listened to Roxy Music. I love Love Is the Drug. That's a fantastic song. And, Avalon's all right. And
it's a bit later, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't even know, is that even them? And that might just be him.
I can't remember.
So I listened to Sirens, and starts off, I thought, I'm not going to enjoy this. And then by the end of the album, I want to listen to it again, because I quite enjoyed it.
Sirens, that's not the first album. Is that the first album? Has that got Do the Strand on it?
I think it has got Do the Strand on it. Yeah.
It's brilliant. I like that album. And Do the Strand is really good. I've listened to that a few times. Roxy Music. I mean, obviously, like early. That's glam, isn't it? Kind of like.
Is it glam though?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's glam. Glam pre-new wave.
Are they not like art rock?
It is art rock, but it's definitely glam as well.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, if you look at Eno from that period, then yeah.
Eno looks like sort of alien from planet rock, Rocky Horror Space.
Rock, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean it's. I liked it, and I think I'm going to go back and listen to it again, because there was a lot there that I thought is probably. So that's 75 is Sirens. So there's a couple. Well, there's 3 before that, but 4 before that. So it might be their 5th.
It's Country Life. Is that the one that's Do the Strand? Let's have a look. I only really know that album, to be honest. No, I don't know that one. Just the picture's familiar. No, Do the Strand is quite
that picture's familiar to you, is it? The cover of Country Life by Roxy Music?
It's been...
If you go and have a look at that cover, and you'll see what I mean. Why would that be familiar to you?
Let's look at Siren. Let's see what's on Siren.
Not as bad as that.
Love Is a Drug. So
that's got Love Is a Drug. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know any of those songs really. I guess End of the Line's quite famous as well. But
For Your Pleasure. I think that's the one. For Your Pleasure. For Your Pleasure. That's really good.
So I'm now, I think, probably going to go on a little bit of a Roxy Music mission, because I quite enjoyed that album. I'm going to familiarise myself with Sirens a bit more, and then have a little bit more than that. And I've also returning to some favourites and listened to Boogie Down Productions' Sex and Violence.
Who's that?
That is KRS-One. That's the group that KRS-One comes from.
I don't know who KRS-One is.
Wow. Okay.
How
are we friends? Sometimes I wonder.
I constantly wonder.
KRS-One is one of the best rappers to have ever walked the face of the planet.
What, like Will Smith?
Like Will Smith, yes, exactly like Will Smith. So anyway, that's what I've been listening to this week. Swiftly moving on from that awful crime against music that you just committed. So let's talk about album swaps.
Yay! I do have Desire. I do have Desire.
Do you?
I do have Desire.
Are you still hard?
Well, we have to talk about Will Smith.
Okay, right, yeah, that's understandable. Big Willie style. Yeah.
Hurricane is on that album, isn't it? Desire.
Yes.
And that's great.
Is it? No, is that not on Street Legal?
I think it's on that album.
No, you might be right.
Because that's why I knew I had it, because I really like that song.
Yeah, you're right.
Hurricane, yeah. Great. But no, so I didn't listen to that, but I wish I had.
Because it's an amazing album, and I offered you the chance.
You did.
To have a very nice week.
You did.
But you refused it. So anyway, last week I recommended to Lee, I gave him Personal Journals by Sage Francis, and he gave me an album that he's been trying to get me to listen to. He's been trying to get me to listen to Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds for many, many, many years now, and I have poo-pooed his every suggestion. So he finally pounced on his opportunity to get me to listen to Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. So I have to say, I really, really like that album.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So which album was it? Let Love In.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good album. It's very, very strange. I've never listened to my reticence about listening to Nick Cave
is that I like it.
It's firstly that Lee likes it, so there's obviously a clue there that it's probably not that great. But secondly, is that the only thing I was aware of about Nick Cave is that song he did with Kylie Minogue.
That's fantastic.
It's not. I liked it for the first couple of times I heard it, and then it was all I heard for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I got very, very tired of it. So that kind of put me off. However, I did really, really like this album. Now, I can't explain their sound. It's
got a lot.
There's a lot of things going on there,
yeah.
And there's also, without seemingly doing anything particularly odd, there's a very strange sort of otherworldly feel to their sound.
It's dark. There's certain sort of really dark Tim Burton-esque, kind of like darky sort of, but slightly comical vibe to it. I think that was like his post-birthday parties.
Right.
So that was his like 7th maybe album with the Bad Seeds.
So it's like 21 years old, almost exactly.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
April 15th, 1994.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. Anniversary albums.
Yeah.
It's such a. Did you kind of like? I know you're a fan of lyrics. Did you listen to the lyrics?
Oh no, not really. The only thing that really stuck in my head is Jingle and Jangle.
Jangling Jack.
Is that what? Well, no, because on that first song, it talks about the bells going jingle,
jangle,
jangle.
Yeah.
Like there's a real pause where you want him to go jingle, jangle, and he doesn't do it, and then he does do it one time as well. It's really strange. It's really good and very pleasing. I did enjoy this album a lot, so yeah, I am. I will be listening to them a lot more.
I think. Do you know? And the reason why I gave that album as well was because I really like that album. There's one song actually from Murder Ballads, which is the album that has the Kylie Minogue song "Where the Wild Roses Go." Mm-hmm. That's a lot of duets on there.
Right. No, I remember it being released as part of that.
PJ Harvey, and I think he was dating PJ Harvey at the time. So they can imagine them two together. I mean, that's phenomenal.
That would be pretty frightening.
He has a song called Stagger Lee that just begs. I mean, I think Murder Ballads was the following album. That Stagger Lee could have easily been on this album, and it's just like kind of gothic tinged, kind of punky. It's aggressive, but it's comical. It's got a dark humour to it.
Yeah, there's a very strange tone to that album. So,
and what I think that album really represents is like his kind of dark, sort of like a kind of aggressive sort of nature side to it. But also they've got the ballady side to it. Now, his other albums, he's actually got a couple of albums that are just really ballady.
Right, okay.
And a couple of albums that are kind of like big, bombastic sort of rock. And then, I would recommend, like, post listening to this, listening to probably my favourite Nick Cave album, which is Abattoir Blues.
Okay.
Abattoir Blues. Great.
I will probably now be investigating that a lot more. So, anyway, I gave you Sage Francis, which I am very fond of that album. A lot of people hate it though, so
okay.
I'm guessing you're in that camp.
Right. So I looked at it and
did you listen to it, or did you just look at it?
I just looked at it.
Right. Yeah.
I looked at it and then I did recognise his name, so it's obviously a name I was aware of but never listened to.
Yeah, I think I probably mentioned him before.
I saw the first song called Crack Pipes and I was like going, oh.
Yeah.
And I listened to it. I really enjoyed it.
Ah, really?
Yeah. I really liked it. I thought it was really good humoured.
Yeah, it is really, really well humoured. Yeah.
I thought it was very warming, and I kind of really liked him.
What, you like the whole album?
I listened to it about 5-6 times, and I've actually picked out songs I like.
Oh wow!
So I
am shocked.
Okay, here's songs I like. I would go back and listen to that for pleasure.
Yeah.
I think I would like to listen to more. I did enjoy it. I found it humorous. I like how it doesn't play to cliches.
No, of course.
Actually says like I really like Crack Pipes. I think because it's talking about cracked pipes.
Yeah.
And it's just quite funny.
Yeah.
And like different. I really like different.
Yeah.
And that's where he says like, "Oh, not being the cliche, basically."
Yeah.
And Hopeless, I liked. And My Name Is Strange.
Yeah.
I like that.
Great, yeah.
And I think that one maybe one of them's got like a Bon Jovi lyric in there.
Oh right, really?
Shot through the heart.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It has. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't kind of listen. I mean, I listened to it quite a few times, and I found him very warming. I found him. I didn't like necessarily always the delivery of the vocals. I don't know hip hop.
Yeah.
So it kind of reminded me of Eminem.
Yeah, I've heard it in before. Yeah.
That could probably give him a huge disservice.
But
that's the only familiar artist I have with that style.
No, and to be honest, like I'm not a big Eminem fan, and I do know a lot about hip hop. But you can't criticise Eminem's technique as a rapper. No. He's incredibly dexterous as an MC, and I think Sage Francis, if you're comparing technique to that, he should be quite pleased with that, I guess.
I know that's.
But the lyrical content, I think it shares some common ground with Eminem in that like the stand thing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's got that kind of like more morbid nature to it. But I think I really like this guy, Sage Francis. I think he's pretty cool.
I on the basis that
I
was going, it's like actually based on just listening to the music.
Yeah.
Whether that's a reflection of his personality or not, I don't know. But I go, I like you, and I had
that.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I listened to it,
yeah, totally.
And I was just like, and I wasn't looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But I really liked. I found it very.
It's music. I think I picked that as well though, because musically, it's probably in a place that you're more comfortable with.
Yeah, it's not like LP, which is a bit like...
No, exactly, yeah. But I think it's also, there are moments in that album which are quite musical, instead of that straight sort of boom-bap hip-hop.
He sings as well on occasions on that album.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Not much.
Not very well either. But,
no.
But I think I love the bit on it where he's, I think, like portraying a sort of schizophrenic nature almost. And there's a conversation from inside his head where, like, one of them's going, "You're leaving," and the other one's like, "No, you're leaving."
It was,
there's a lot of really, really good stuff on that album.
And I was really pleased with it, and it made me smile.
Okay, cool.
It made me smile. Good choice.
All right, cool. So, what have you got for me this week?
It's one of 2 albums, and I think
you've got to pick. I'm not picking.
No. Okay. So, have you heard of Brendan Benson?
Yes.
Have you listened to Brendan Benson?
No, one of my friends was mad about Brendan Benson, and I didn't like the music he liked, so I didn't listen to it.
Right, so Brendan Benson.
Yay!
Brendan Benson is an American singer-songwriter who I like. He's had a few albums. There's 2 that I was going to choose. Well, I couldn't decide between the 2.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go for The Alternative to Love.
Brendan Benson, The Alternative to Love.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go for.
All right, so I have your album, but I just need to check what the title of it is. I think so. It's by. I'm going to give you. Excuse me. Lee and I have just been to have a very heavy breakfast in a greasy spoon, which was lovely, but not ideal for then sitting down and talking a lot to camera.
No.
And burping. So.
I feel heavy.
Yeah. No. So I'm going to give you the Young Disciples.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But I think their album's called Road to Freedom. That's it. So you're going to get the Young Disciples' Road to Freedom.
Is it on Spotify?
It is on Spotify.
Excellent.
I have checked that. So that's what you get.
Excellent. I don't know anything about them.
You will know one song.
Okay.
But you probably don't know the rest of the album, and it's a cracker. So
okay.
I don't know whether you'll like it. I love it though. So
right.
So that's, I think, about it for us this week.
I believe so.
Okay, yes. Right. So that's us. You can follow us on @HelloNotDeadYet and email us at hellonotdeadyet@gmail.com. And Instagram us on Insta Not Dead Yet, I think.
And there's like underscores.
Insta underscore not blah blah. Yeah.
Also, if you go to our Facebook page, which is just Hello Not Dead Yet, we'll put clips up of the songs we've talked about.
Yeah.
And some videos maybe of songs we're talking about, so you can see for yourself. And if there's anything you think we should be listening to,
let us know. Yeah, if you think that there's things that we should listen to or not. Yeah.
And if we're
join in with our album swap as well. You can take part and let us know what you think. Okay, so see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.